guys, it's Chantel with Wildberry Quilting, and today we are doing the ribbon block in the Barnstar Quiltalong series. That is going to be block number 10. So let's get started. All right, so this is block 10, which is the ribbon star. We're going to start by taking pieces A and B and making flying geese. We are going to be doing 3 stars this time instead of the 2 that we've done on the previous ones. So hopefully that won't be confusing at all. And I'm just going to talk about it like we're doing one, I guess. Which means that we are going to want, if you're doing a single star, then you're going to want to do like 4 of these flying geese. I just think that'll be easier to explain it that way instead of having to try to say 4 for a single star or 12 for 3 stars. Because that gets kind of confusing sometimes, I think, when I'm trying to give the amount of blocks that you need for both sizes. Or both amounts of stars, I should say. I love this red fabric. This is one that I picked up as a remnant, I think, at a quilty store down in Florida. It's just like, it's like a very rough fat quarter. I don't know if it just didn't cut straight and that's why I got put in the remnant pile or what happened, but man, I love this fabric so much. I need to try and get more of it. And that yellow fabric is actually one that I got from Missouri Star. And it came in a bundle with some other yellow fabrics. And I liked all of the yellow fabric, but this was like my least favorite one out of them. I'm just not big into like random sporadic dots, like bubbles. And I was kind of wondering what I was going to end up using it for. But then we had to do this quilt block, and it seemed to be perfect. It's the perfect shade and the perfect, size of print that I thought it would go really well for this quilt block. And it was just enough fabric because I needed a fat quarter, and that's what this was a fat quarter. So both of these fabrics just worked out perfectly. So I've got half of my flying geese done. Now I have to do the other half of them. Well, I guess I should say I have my flying geese halfway done. Not that I have half of them done. Because technically, it's that they're halfway done. These are very, very simple blocks, which is very welcomed. It's nice because all of the other blocks leading up to this were much more difficult, or at least much more complex, I guess I should say. Not really necessarily difficult, just complex. So it's nice that we're getting into the much simpler blocks now. These are kind of the smaller, more filler blocks. So I kind of feel like we're getting to the home stretch on this quilt. And I'm also thinking that there's a good chance that for some of these I may end up releasing 2 blocks in the same month. Like for example this month, I'm pretty sure I'm going to, normally I release these on the 1st of each month, and I'm pretty sure that this month we're going to release a second block. Because if we don't, then that stretches out the series for a whole nother year. And that's fine if, that ends up being what happens. But since we're on to easier blocks, I think that it would be nice to try to get some of these done. And then that way, if you guys don't want to quite stretch out the sewing of this for a whole year, you don't have to wait for my next video to come out to see what I'm doing on it or hear any tips or sew it with me. You don't have to worry about getting too far ahead or whatever. If you hear crashing in the background, that is my husband in the garage. He is cleaning out the garage right now, and my sewing room is right between the kitchen and the garage. So one of the noisiest places in the house. But that's okay. We make it work. And it looks like we're down to our last 2 flying geese. Got I can't wait to see how this block is going to come out, because I really think all of these fabrics are going to look so pretty together. I like the red and yellow pairing that they suggested. There we go. That's all the flying geese. So now we have our C blocks and the remainder of our A blocks, and we are going to snowball all 4 corners. I really like this print too. This came in a fat eighth bundle that was one that I got for another project, and that project only needed 10 fat eighths, and the fat eighth bundle had like, I don't know if it was 16 or if it was like 20, but in any case, I ended up with a whole bunch of extra fat eighths, and when I saw that it needed fat eighths, I was like, yeah, this is a great opportunity to get into those and use them, especially since the color seems to work out perfectly. And look at how pretty these are together. Isn't that just beautiful? I love it. It's like they were made for each other. This particular line is, I think it's called Pond, and it's from Ruby Star Society. This red one, I think it's an art gallery. It feels like an art gallery print, but I'm not sure what the fabric line is. If you happen to know what it is, though, I would love to get more, so please let me know. The little fat quarter that I had was not the side that had the information on it, sadly, so I was kind of in the dark on that one. I'm just going to snowball this other corner. Use my little piece of feeder fabric so I don't so my machine doesn't suck the ends into feed dogs. And the other fabric that I'm using on this, like I said, I got that one from Missouri Star. And I'm not sure what the name of the bundle was, but it was like a 5-piece fat quarter bundle, and they were all yellows. And I don't know if they all came from the same line or if they came from different lines and were just bundled together. I think they did probably come from the same manufacturer though, because I think I remember seeing the manufacturer name on the bundle when I first opened it. So now we have our center blocks and we're going to snowball the other 2 corners. Yeah, I'm really excited to see how this, oops, don't forget our feeder fabric. I'm really excited to see how this block looks. I think these fabrics together are just so pretty. And it was awesome how everything just came together to where it's like, oh, I have extra of this one. I have just the right amount of this one and just the right amount of that. And this block picked out all of its fabrics by itself. I say that, but there was definitely some hunting and sorting to try to figure out which ones. But it was like once I found them, I knew exactly which fabrics were the right ones for it. Oh, we are missing one of these red squares. What have I done with it? I'm missing more than just one. I need the rest for the other parts. And now I have my flying geese, and I'm going to separate the ones that go on the top and the bottom. And I'm going to take my D pieces and then just sew them to either side like this. Oops. I think that this block is going to end up having kind of an Asian type of a theme or feeling to it anyways. It's kind of what I'm getting off of it. I think it's really pretty. I really like that style. So it's not just a style though, it's, you know, history, but not that these are historical fabrics or anything. And I don't know that, I don't think any of them were actually intended to have an Asian theme to them, but somehow I put them together in such a way that they look like they do. It may just be the style of fabric, or, well, the style of the flowers and the storks that are making me think that. Or that are reminding me of that, I should say. Fun fact, I actually attempted to teach myself Japanese when I was a teenager. And I didn't do very much. I only learned maybe like 300 words. So didn't get too far. But my daughter has the same interest and she wants to learn Japanese and teach herself Japanese as well. Although she has the benefit that there's actually Duolingo, and That certainly wasn't around when I was a teenager. I wish it would have been. I would have spent a lot of time on that app. Probably would have learned. I probably would have actually learned something more than what I did if I had had it. So I figured out what I did. I had actually made 4 of these blocks when I was cutting them. I just, folded them over and did my cutting. And then I did not remember to take out the 4th block, and I just started adding all of my leftover A pieces to the corners. So of course, when I got to the end, I did not have enough A pieces because I had an extra block in there. So I had to go back through and pick them out and then sew on the little pieces to my other 3 blocks and discard the 4th one. At least it was an easy fix, and I was able to figure out what I had done wrong without too much hassle. Looking at these blocks, I'm thinking I really probably should have taken the time to trim these up before sewing them together. But you know how it is when you get in a hurry and you don't take the time to do something. You end up regretting it later sometimes. And I just wasn't even thinking about it because I was correcting that error that I made with the extra block. But that's okay. I think these will all be fine. Yep, this is going to be a beautiful block. I can't wait to see this whole quilt put together and how all of my different fabric choices are going to affect the way that it looks. I kind of wish I would have used these fabrics on a larger block, but I don't know that I would have had enough of them to do that because they're kind of small cuts. So now we are just sewing together our rows and then we'll be done. This is just coming out so pretty. I think I've said that like 50 times already, but I can't help it. I'm just so excited to see this. Especially with that red fabric. I really got to figure out what... that piece is just flipping up on me. I really got to figure out what that line is because I'm going to need more of that. It was just a little scrap that was left in the remnants section, and I snatched that up. I don't even know that I bought anything else at the time. It was just, I think I did. I think I bought some other yellow fabric, interestingly enough, that had like bees or honeycombs or something on it. But that was it. And that red one, that was the main score. I just love it. It's such a brilliant red color. It's almost bordering on orange. But yet I still think it qualifies as red. It's as orange as you can get while still being considered red, I think. Like if there is such a thing, it's neon red. Of course, I've never heard of that before, but we're going to go with that. I'm just making it up. It's neon red. I don't even mind how the bubbles look in this one. I was a little hesitant at first to use that yellow bubble fabric on this, but I don't even mind it now. I think it complements it really well. Scooch over. There we go. So what have you guys been working on lately? And how many of you guys are sewing this along with me? Because I would love to know. Or are you guys just enjoying watching me sew through it? Living vicariously. or maybe you're enjoying watching through it with the intention that you'll one day come back and sew through it. But you just kind of want to watch through it first and see just how much work it is. If you guys send me in pictures of the blocks that you guys have done, I would love to include those in the next video. So whichever blocks it is, it doesn't matter if you are caught up or not. It doesn't matter if you are sewing ahead even. I will include pictures of whatever blocks you guys are getting done with. I would love to do that. I'll just put them like at the end of the video or something. That way everybody can watch through them all. All right, that's it. We are ready to go press these and see our reveals. All right, guys. So these are our finished ribbon stars. And we've got 3 of them. You turn that one this way because that is what way the little cranes are flying. They are so pretty. I love them. Oh my gosh. Here, let me hold them up one at a time because they are so pretty. I love them. I think these might be my favorite stars in the quilt so far. They're so simple, but just, I guess, the fabric combinations. I really like them. Although I say that they're my favorite, but I don't really remember what most of the other stars were or what they looked like. I don't know. I might open up the box to put them all together when I'm done and be very pleasantly surprised and be going through it going, oh, this is my favorite. No, this is my favorite. Each one is just prettier and prettier. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.